So we are getting ready to launch a project called the Emory Arts and Culture Hub. The Emory Arts and Culture Hub is right on the corner of Burton and Division. For those that don't know, this area is the Forgotten First Ward. It's a part of a very interesting gerrymandered part of Grand Rapids that's probably the least invested business district in the entire city. The reason that we have this development plan set out like this is so when we talk to neighbors, when we talk to everyday extraordinary human beings, that they can actually see where they live and kind of the area that's going to be impacted by this project. So this circle that you see is a 10-minute walk radius around the building. This building is located right on the Silver Line, which is going to make it significantly more accessible to all of the dynamic people that we serve. So we work with about 30 schools a year, all from as far north as Northview High School to far south is Kelloggsville and Godwin. And in the last 2 years with this pamphlet that you see, we've done a project called the 49507 project, and we've put 15 murals on predominantly black and brown businesses by black and brown artists, paying artists a livable wage, doing community listening sessions where we ask people, what do you want to see when it comes to art? What do you want to see when it comes to your community? And when we do these listening sessions, we also ask them questions like, in what ways has your neighborhood not been invested in? People said they want things like affordable housing. People said they want things like affordable retail spaces. They want their neighborhoods to be somewhere that they can live, work, and play. And that's where the idea of the Emory truly comes to life. So this building is going to be a part of a $6 million capital campaign. And if you don't have this one pager, we'll put it in your hands. We're going to be turning this building into a multi-use space. This yellow space that you see is going to be the headquarters of the Diatribe. In this space, during after school hours, we're going to work with between 20 and 30 young people. The 20 to 30 young people that we're working with, and why 20 to 30, is because we want to invest in the entirety of the young people that we serve. So traditionally, we see programmatic investments from philanthropic industry. We want to know how many of these young people's parents need a therapist, how many of them need insurance, how many of them need a primary health care doctor, how many of them need a tutor, how many of them need a college recommendation letter. And by holistically and comprehensively investing in their lives, how do their outcomes change? During the day, this is going to be a collaborative working space for neighbors and change makers and community advocates. So if neighbors come in and they're like, hey, people are flying down my street on Jefferson, right? We can say, all right, let's show you how to petition the city and get speed bumps. If you're a neighboring business, like let's say Ebenezer's Bakery, and you're like, hey, the front of my business has seen better days. How do we show them to go after facade improvement dollars from the city? A lot of people don't know that these resources exist. And this is going to be a hub to solve community issues in real time. Bring funders in and say, these are what people want to see to fix problems in our neighborhood and community. These 4 retail spaces that you see are going to be hyper affordable retail spaces for entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs that are a reflection of the community. These retail spaces start at about $350 to $450 a month. So drastically below market rate. These are also all businesses that want to work with young people. So we'll be able to leverage our 501c3 status to bring in grant dollars, to bring in additional forms of revenue for those businesses. And last but not least, they're all businesses that we can contract and book. So in the upstairs of this, or in the basement of this space, there's going to be an 110-person venue. Again, our neighborhood should be places where we can live, work, and play, but not all of our neighborhoods are designed that way. If you rent the Graham, they have an authorized list of caterers you can use. With our venue, all of our authorized list of caterers are going to be neighborhood businesses. Businesses that are a reflection of our community. To where, let's say, when KConnect comes in, or the Community Foundation comes in and rents this space, we're keeping dollars in the communities through the businesses that we rent. Also, when we're doing shows and events and nightlife events, you'll be able to bring in neighboring food to where, again, we can bring that traction into Burton Heights to bring even more foot traffic to the businesses that live there. But I think the most exciting thing about this project is what's going to be upstairs. We are creating a model of what we're calling truly affordable housing. What we mean by truly affordable housing is the phrase affordable housing now is a term meant for developers. It's not meant for everyday extraordinary people. So what they do is developers can then charge the government market rate. They can stay in the black and they can start to chip away their prices a little bit lower. But again, it's not affordable for everyday people who need it. So with this model, the studios are going to start at $600 to $700 a month. The two bedrooms are going to be at $800 to $900 a month. But it's not just cost that makes things truly affordable. In year one, people are going to be taking a credit building class. In year two, people are going to be taking a financial literacy class. In year three, people are going to be taking a home ownership class. And after year three, we're going to be giving people $3,600, $4,800, or $5,400 that they can pair with whatever home loan they qualify for, making them more competitive in the housing market. As we currently exist, people normally pay what, first and last month's rent and security deposit. You maybe get one of those things back. You hardly ever leave better than when you came in to a rental situation. We want to know, if we flip this system on its head, how many people will leave better than when they came in. And if we track this every 3 years, can we out of Grand Rapids create a new model for rent in a philanthropic hub that ensures that people are leaving better? And if we can do that with a property that has 8 units, can we do it with a property that has 20, that has 50 units? How many lives can we change if we start to adopt this model? So what you'll see is also what this building will look like. It's all been designed by Steelcase, working with all of our teaching artists and staff. So this isn't going to be some hodgepodge community space. This is going to be a world-class space for arts and culture that exists in our neighborhood, in the 49507, in the Burton Heights community. If you know the Burton Heights community, the street is like a highway that goes through our city. If you look at City High School, it's all slowed down for pedestrian traffic, the places that live around it. We have one of the largest population densities, and we have more public schools around us than any other part of the city, right? If we can slow down that street, it raises the property values for the people who own commercial properties. It raises the property values for the residents who live there. So we're looking at this to be a domino that equitably raises or shifts the wealth gap of people who live in Burton Heights. This is what the project will look like when it's all done. So again, it's called the Emory Arts and Culture Hub. It's named after a Mr. Emory Douglas, who was born in Grand Rapids. He was one of the most prolific artists during the civil rights movement. So naming this space after a dynamic black person who's about bringing power back to people, because that's what this building is really going to be about. And that's what equity is, right? It's about shifting power. How do you shift power? How do you bring power back to people? If you don't have our one-pager, this is our one-pager for our capital campaign. This is a brochure that goes ins and outs of all of our programming. We work with 20 to 30 schools a year. But everybody, please take a sticker. I know earlier we talked about data and shifting data, or getting data back in the hands of people. We do listening sessions with the 49507 project, and the things that community members want to see are in this book. They want their streets to be slowed down, which makes them safer, which raises property values. They want more walkable business districts where they own the things in their communities. And this is going to be hopefully an example and a culmination of that intellectual property and what people want to see. But please take a sticker, put it on somewhere important, tell people about the project. We do building tours once a month if you want to come through and see it in person. But thank you guys for your time and for hanging out here with us.